Although they have been standard for quite a few years now, I still feel awkward in these unisex bathrooms. That makes sense, I suppose, but it's hard to get used to something so different from what you grew up with.
They don't make sense.
The bathroom is surprisingly empty despite the crowds outside. I don't immediately see Violet though one of the stall doors is closed. Violet, are you in here? I'm here. I hear her voice coming from behind the closed stall door. Is everything okay? Yeah. You've been in here for quite a while. I know. How much longer are you going to be in here? Well, is there anyone else in the bathroom with us, Yuri? We're alone right now. What's going on? I need a pad. Oh, not a problem. I reach into my purse and pull out a tampon. Although I have not had a period myself since my hysterectomy, I still carry one around for emergencies. You never know when you'll find someone caught without one like this. I'm going to hand it over the top. Catch. Ready. I reach over the top of the stall and drop it down. Yuri? Yes? I really hate to ask this, but can you help? With the tampon? Mom told me about periods and there was the video at school, but... I can hear her blushing. Is this your first time? Yeah, and I'm not really certain how to use this. I blush myself and fumble with my braid. I haven't tried hiding behind my hair in a long time, but right now I want to. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, it just means you're healthy. So here's what you do. This isn't something I had ever expected to have to teach anyone ever since learning that we couldn't adopt. But at least it's me and not Jane. I can only imagine how mortified they both would be if this had happened while I was at work. Helping her really drives home the fact she's not a little girl anymore. She's like a butterfly in a chrysalis right now, growing out of the things in her old life, like the mighty motorcycles, and into the wonders that await her in her new one.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't going the direction I thought it might be after they mentioned it was a unisex bathroom. May, you're 35!
I open my eyes as I wake up despite how little I want to. I lay in bed wishing I could just go back to sleep. At least it's Mother's Day. Sunday, so I don't have to go to work. I consider putting my pillow over my head so the light from the window won't keep me awake. I thought Mother's Day was always on a Monday. Am I mistaken? Whatever. And maybe you'll smother yourself. That's never worked any other year, though. Why does the entire world seem to think having a special day for mothers every year is such a great idea? It can't be just me, or even other childless women that hate it. What about the people who have horrible mothers, or no mother at all? Why aren't there protests in the street every year over how much this holiday fucking sucks? Probably because, like me, they're all just hiding under the covers, hoping it'll go away. Father's Day isn't much better for the same reason. And I used to think being single on Valentine's Day was bad. Ever since the hysterectomy, this has always been much, much worse. On Valentine's Day, I at least had hope that next year would be different. I always told myself next year I'll celebrate it with someone special. And eventually it came true when I met Jane. We even got engaged on Valentine's Day. But now on Mother's Day, I can't do that. This is real life, not some crappy Hallmark movie. I won't magically conceive without a uterus. Unless we literally win the lottery, we will never be able to afford to adopt. Hell, even if someone were to walk up to us, hand us a baby, and say, "Please take care of my child for me," then completely vanish, we still couldn't keep it. I looked it up online once out of morbid curiosity, even though I already knew the answer. Legally, we would have to contact Child Services, who would take the baby and put it in foster care. We could try to adopt it like any other child, but it would cost as much as any other adoption, meaning it can't happen. If we tried to keep the child, we would technically be guilty of kidnapping, even though it was given to us. So there's no hope at all of Mother's Day ever improving. Fortunately, it can't get any worse. You said that before, and then it got worse. Mother's Day was bad after my hysterectomy. But it did get worse after my own mother died a few years ago. From that point on, I would celebrate it by calling Jane's mother and wishing her a happy Mother's Day as best I could. It was hard because she would always try to tell me my children are in heaven, as if that was supposed to make me feel better. Still, it was a way for me to try to pretend this day was anything besides a reminder of my infertility. But ever since she died of a stroke a couple of years ago, I haven't had even that. I roll over and stare at the ceiling. I absolutely hate this. Since I can't go back to sleep, I should get out of bed. I don't see the point, though. Is how I'm feeling today what serious depression is like. Or what serious depression is like. Probably. I'm really glad this isn't something I have to deal with on a constant basis like she does. Once or twice a year is bad enough. I look at the wall holder where I keep my phone. Good, I remembered to turn it off last night. I have no reason to touch the damn thing today. Nothing but lots of pointless, stupid, touchy-feely, celebrating mothers messages on the group chat. I look down and I'm unsurprised to see an envelope with my name on it and a small bag of chocolates sitting down on the floor on my side of the bed. Jean does that every year on Mother's Day. He thinks it makes me feel better. It doesn't.
Well, you should let him know.
It's just another reminder of this stupid holiday. I'd prefer that he didn't get me a card at all, and we just pretend it was a normal Sunday. One year I did get him a Father's Day card because I assumed he felt the same way. He actually got upset with me about it, though I don't really understand why. I think that going through the motions and pretending he's a father on Father's Day helps him, but that's just a guess. Because of that, I don't have the heart to tell him to stop giving me Mother's Day cards.
Oh. Sounds like a conversation that needs to happen.
If I did, he would just feel even more useless at not being able to help me more than he already does. I reach down, pick up the envelope, and open it. Taking out the card, I look at the front of it. It has a picture of a rose on it and says, "To my wonderful wife." I open it up and read the inside.
You are the light of my world, the center of my universe, the heart of my home. I cannot imagine a life more wonderful than the one I have with you. I love you forever. Jean.
It is the sappy romantic kind of thing he knows I like. I hate it. I want to tear it up and throw it away. Instead, I get up and reach underneath my bed. I pull out a small box I keep there. I put the card in it, right on top of every other Mother's Day card he's ever given me since then. I don't know why I keep them. This is the one day per year I even look at this box. Even then, I don't go through the old ones. I know it doesn't make sense. To not want to give it, or to be given a card, to not even want to keep it, but then not throwing them out either. Of course, if I'm being honest, I'm not the most rational person on Mother's Day. Like always, I close the box and slide it into its place underneath the bed, where it will sit until next year. I sit down on the bed, open the bag of chocolates and eat one. I don't care about my diet today. Why should I care if I get fat? Besides, doesn't chocolate have something in it that makes you feel better when you're sad or depressed? Whether it actually has something in it is a comfort food, or just knowing what the Jean is thinking of me doesn't matter. It does make me feel a bit better eating it. I fall onto my back on the bed. I don't want to do anything, but I know I can't just lay here forever. I need to do something, but I can't think of anything likely to make me feel better. Maybe I should go downstairs naked, strip Jean of his clothes, and screw him until he has no stamina left. One advantage of not having kids is that clothes can be optional, so long as the windows are closed. No. I'm not really in the mood for sex, and I'm certain it wouldn't help. I would probably end up feeling worse because I'd just be using him to try to make myself feel better, instead of sharing an emotional and intimate experience with him. It would be empty and meaningless. That's not even taking into account I almost certainly wouldn't be able to get the thought that sex can't result in children for us out of my head while doing it. I need to do something that will help me clear my mind. I sit up and look around. I see my old writing box sitting next to my desk. I go to my desk, pick up my pen, and begin writing.
Oh gosh, it's been so long since we had to read Jerry's font. Give me that bark.
I hear people complain about waking up to the babies crying at 3 a.m. in the morning. I think how much better that it is than waking up to the deafening silence like I do. I hear it, always, coming from her room. It won't go away. It never will. It makes no sense. She would have moved out by now anyway. The room would still be empty, but quiet. Today everyone else is happy and cheering, celebrating something I can never have. I pretend to smile and cheer myself, but I'm relegated to the sidelines of life. Nothing but a spectator of reality. A spectator. A specter. Cursed to haunt myself. Cursed to be myself. I want to join the others. I want to live. I want her to live. I wanted to dream the impossible dream. Instead, I am trapped in a nightmare, all alone. I am always alone, even when in the middle of a crowd, forever drowning in a sea of people. Every year that passes, I hope it will get easier, but it doesn't. They say time heals all wounds, yet the pain never lessens. It never gets any fucking easier. I put my head down on the desk, crying, banging it with my fist. My thoughts and feelings are such a jumble, I can't write like I usually do. No subtle metaphors, no descriptive language. Just a poor attempt at getting out all this emotional pain I have today. It doesn't really work, though. It never does. Last Mother's Day was the exact same thing. I open up my writing box and put my poem inside. Looking at it, I am reminded that last Mother's Day was the last time I wrote something. A year. I've had writer's block for an entire year now. That has never happened to me before. Is this the only way I will ever get right again? Pouring out a bunch of stupid nonsense when I'm upset. Upset. That doesn't even begin to describe how I feel, but there isn't really a word that does. Even after all these years, all these decades, the pain of losing my babies is still there. Most days I can ignore it. But on others it's like it just happened yesterday. Mother's Day is always the worst. Father's Day just doesn't seem to bother Gene as much, though maybe he's just better at hiding it than I am. Hope's birthday isn't much fun for me either. Even though we never even got an exact due date, I mentally always place it about 2 weeks after Edward's birthday for some reason. I don't think Gene ever thinks about that. I doubt he even thinks about Hope as an individual. Hey, Mom, happy Mother's Day. Go away, I don't want to talk to you right now. If that were true, I wouldn't be here. I know. I miss you. I wish I could have held you at least once. Why? Why couldn't I? You're jealous of Aunt Sayori again, aren't you? An hour. The doctor said Jennifer wouldn't take even a single breath, and she'd live for an hour. One wonderfully blessed hour when she was held, loved, and given the best life possible in her condition. Then they had a funeral. She was buried, given a little headstone. Something to remember her by, something to let people know she existed. Unlike me. Serious, so many other children. Why couldn't I have been given that hour instead? You know it wouldn't make any difference. If I lived an hour, then you would still be here upset that I didn't live longer. A day, a week, a month, a year. A lifetime. Be honest, it's what you really want. What you've always wanted for me. You're right. I stand up, walk over to the bed, and flop down on it. It still doesn't mean I don't feel jealous. Seems like any idiot can have a baby. See, I had 5 without even trying, even though Jennifer and James died. Heck, I know she was taking birth control when she got pregnant with Meredith. Emery got pregnant by accident, had an abortion. Angela became a teenage mother. Even Monica and Meredith didn't seem to have any trouble or problems having children when they wanted them. And then there's me. There's nothing you could have done. Is there? What if I had taken my studies in high school more seriously? I'm smart. I only did so poorly because I didn't apply myself. Reading instead of paying attention in class, ignoring my homework, not studying. I could have gotten straight A's instead of C's and D's if I wanted. If I had, I probably would have learned or earned a scholarship, gone to a nice college like Monica. I might have gotten a much better job that paid enough money than I would be able to afford to adopt since Jean's disability, or despite Jean's disability. I don't think even Monica makes enough money to afford to both adopt and support a husband with injuries like that. And she's the most financially well-off person you know. If we hadn't waited to have kids, maybe my body would have handled it better. Or maybe the doctor would have discovered the problem before I needed a hysterectomy. Mom, it was less than 3 years from when you got married until it happened. I doubt that made much of a difference. What about more time? Maybe if I hadn't been so shy and reserved, or gotten drunk out of my gourd that one night, I might have met and married your father 6 years earlier. And maybe you wouldn't have married him at all. Maybe you would have married someone rich enough to adopt. Dad has been so wonderful to you. Do you really think that? Apparently, sometimes. If given the chance, would you really trade him for me? I buried my face into my pillow. No. As much as I love you, I love him more. You're my daughter, but he's my husband. I would give up almost anything to bring you into this reality. But not that. There is a part of you that would. Enough. This conversation isn't making me feel better. How has your life been since we last talked? I have been working really hard on my childhood education degree with a minor in English literature. I should be graduating this year, and then I'll start applying for a job. Do you think there might be an opening here at Salmon High? If so, I'll be close by you, Aunt Sayori, Aunt Monica, and everyone else. I also met a special guy. I don't know if he's the one, but it's pretty serious between us. Maybe next time I visit, I will be. I will be. No, this daydream hurts too much right now. I close my eyes and try to empty my mind of all thoughts. Again, I wish I could just go to sleep. But when I'm emotionally and mentally exhausted, my body is unfortunately well rested. I'm not going to be able to just sleep this day away. I go into the bathroom to shower and get dressed. When I go downstairs, I find Gene sitting on the couch playing video games. He sees me and pauses his game.
Good morning, hon.
I look at the clock. It's almost noon.
I figured you would want to sleep in today.
I did, thank you.
Here's a tissue.
I take it from him and wipe my tears. Thank you.
Unless there was something else you would rather do, I thought today would be a good day for us to have a Lord of the Rings movie marathon. All 3 movies back to back, extended edition.
That takes about 12 hours even if you don't stop to eat.
I assumed we would eat while watching. For lunch, we'll just have some popcorn. When we're ready for dinner, I was planning to have some bacon cheeseburgers, onion rings, and a couple shakes delivered.
I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to distract me. Watching a set of movies I enjoy all day, movies that don't have anything to do with mothers and children. Eating foods I love, ignoring my diet, minimizing contact with the outside world. I don't think his plan will really help, but I do appreciate his attempt. And knowing he loves me enough for him to come up with all this to try to make me feel better, it does make me feel a little better. I'll make the popcorn and some tea while you get the movie ready. I am cuddled up on the couch with Jean and Markov.
I don't know why I took you in after your mother and father died, but it wasn't out of charity.
That's right, Frodo was an orphan. I ate another piece of chocolate. At the rate I'm going through them, I don't think the bank will make it to Rivendell. I know it would never happen, but I imagine something happening to Jean's brother and his wife. Then our nephews and nieces there having to come live with us for some reason. Would I be taking them in out of charity? Or just to fulfill my own selfish desire for children? Even without a movie like this, or with a movie like this, it's hard for me to forget what today is. Jean is stroking my hair comfortingly. I put my arms around him and hold him tightly. Thank you.
Huh?
I start crying again. Thank you for trying to help me feel better today. He hugs me back.
Of course, I love you.
I know. I love you too, my love. I try to smile at him, but I can't stop crying as once again I grieve for my dead children.
Well, September, year 36. I think, before we get into this one, it's probably as good a time to stop as any. It's slightly early, but I don't think I'll get very far into the scene with only 2.5 minutes left. So, that will do it for now. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time with more Pages of Life. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.